Hello friends and welcome to the Southern Mountain Kitchen. Today we're making pork chop sandwiches. So everything you see on my counter is what we're going to use to make these sandwiches, with the exception of having some rolls to put them on. So let's get started. So what we're going to do in a large plate, or whatever you want to mix this up in, we're going to put a half a cup of all-purpose flour, a fourth of a cup of Italian breadcrumbs, and a fourth of a cup of cornstarch. To this, we're adding a fourth of a teaspoon of salt, a fourth of a teaspoon of pepper, a fourth of a teaspoon of garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of chili powder, and then 1 tablespoon of Memphis seasoning. This is something you season chicken or pork with. You could basically use any kind of pork seasoning or chicken seasoning, and that would mix in quite well with what we're doing here. Once you get all of this onto your plate or container, you're going to mix it up, because you want to make sure all of the seasoning gets mixed through all of the flour and everything else, to make sure that you get everything pretty much separated into all the different stuff. You don't want any like lumps of seasoning in one place. You want to make sure it's all distributed. So go ahead and mix around the edges, and then when you're done with this, set it to the side. Then we're going to take a bowl and we're going to add an egg to it, break it up a little bit, and then to this we're going to add a half a cup of buttermilk. This is going to give it a little bit of flavor to have the buttermilk going into the mix. And then after that, this is an optional step, but I use it anyway. I add about a tablespoon of hot sauce. Now, if you don't prefer to use hot sauce, you don't have to, but I find that putting the hot sauce kind of gives all the other seasoning a kick, and it kind of makes it flavorful, but not too spicy and not over the top, because not a lot of the hot sauce is going to stay onto your pork. So whether you choose to add it or not, it's your choice. But go ahead and add it in if you want to, and then we'll mix all of this up again to make sure everything is combined together. Then we're going to take our pieces of pork. Now you could buy pork that already has the bone removed. Mine were actually pork chops that I cut the bone off the edge, because there was a large piece of meat that you could pull from that. And then we're going to put it in a bag, so that way when we go to pound this out, it's not going to go all over the kitchen or cutting board or anything else. We're just going to flatten these a bit and just pound them out. And you're going to do this on both sides. So once you do one side, get them all completely done, then flip the whole bag over and do the other side as well. So that way you're not only tenderizing, but you're actually making them a little bigger than they were before. At the same time, we are going to get ready to coat these. So we're going to bring back our mix of flour and ingredients, and we're going to bring the bowl bag that has the buttermilk, egg, and hot sauce in it, and we're going to put the pork into it, flip it around, and get it totally coated. So that way these are very wet and ready to receive the outer coating. And once you get it all done, what we're going to do is take your piece of pork, put it into the flour mixture, make sure the dry stuff goes all over the outside of it. Then we're going to go back and wet it again, and then come back and then one more time dip it into the flour mixture. So that way we get everything really coated, and this has a decent crust on the outside of it. The good thing about these is when they cook up, they're kind of like crunchy on the outside. They have been fried very well, but they also have a very moist inside. So do this for each one of your pork chops and just work them through. And in the meantime, we're going to heat up some oil in a pan and get ready to fry these. So get your pork ready to go, have your oil in your pan ready to go as well. And we're going to put that pan on about medium-high heat, because we really want to get that oil hot for these to cook in. So my oil is already in the pan and my temperature is up. As you can see, as I'm dropping in my pork, it's starting to fry already, which is really good. Now, one thing you want to do with these is turn them periodically to make sure that they cook evenly, and that way they're kind of brown on both sides. You don't want to overcook them, but you don't want to undercook them either. So you're looking at a temperature, if you want to check this with a thermometer to make sure it's done, is anywhere from 145 to 150 degrees inside with the thermometer, just to be on the safe side to make sure it's totally cooked. And then just keep flipping them back and back till you get to a point where you get something like what's on the screen now, where they're brownish on the outside, but they have a good crustiness on them, and that's what you're looking for. And just make sure your temperature is above 145 before you take these out. So we want these to be cooked thoroughly. And then I'm putting mine on a Kaiser roll because I find that the consistency of a Kaiser roll is a little thicker, and it's better to eat these so that way, you know, you have a decent amount of meat here, and when you bite into it, it's not like a hamburger bun that's going to squish to pieces on you. You can put these on hamburger buns if you want, but I suggest probably going with a thicker roll. And Kaiser rolls are harder, and they actually work better for this. And when you get it all assembled and put together, you're going to get a really great sandwich out of this. And you can add anything like lettuce or mayonnaise or tomato or whatever you want to it, but in the end it looks like this, and it's a joy to eat. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you get a chance, check out my cookbooks, which are on Amazon and bookstores worldwide. The first is about everyday cooking. The second is all about baking. Have a great day.